Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Hopefully Satsu will be along in just a little bit, but until then, it'll be me and Jack trying to entertain you. Jack, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm actually pretty decent. Second day in a row where I'm not bitching and complaining.
What?
I know, right? It's like I'm having a couple of good days, and I've been enjoying them. Now, I will say this: I didn't see a whole lot of news today, Jack, because I was playing video games. I'll be honest with you,
Yeah, fair enough.
and I was trying to get a very specific achievement done in Phasmophobia, a very incredibly ridiculous hard achievement, and I spent more hours than I'd like to admit, and I failed.
Oh,
I failed a lot.
sad face.
Yeah, so I didn't get a whole lot of news stuff in, but the top story that I have just, well, makes me laugh. Oh, thank you, Dangerous. I will link those at the top. Thank you, my friend. Guys, we're brought to you by you. Hit the like button, the share button. If you would, please consider donating to Jack or myself to help us eat and, I don't know, buy hookers. Neither one of us does that, but I mean, what the hell?
You don't buy hookers, you rent them.
I suppose that's not what I've heard. I've heard that you can mix and match and trade and stuff if you're in a certain business.
Yeah, but you have to have the business acumen and the connections to go around getting involved in that. That's not something your layman can do.
Yeah, by the way, we do not support that because it's horrible.
Sure.
Don't buy people, you guys. It's
No, don't do that.
Buying whores is bad, okay?
Are hookers people?
Yes, they are. They're just, sad
okay.
people whose dads left.
Oh.
Daddy never went to their recital.
That's true.
Yeah, sucks. Anyway.
Drugs are bad.
We have actual stories to talk about tonight.
Do we?
And I may have solved my problem with my computer, so I might be able to read the stories tonight, Jack.
Oh.
I went over there to play some Dead Island. That's what it's Dead Island 2 with Satsu. And Epic wouldn't let me sign in. And so I spent about an hour and a half just trying everything I could think of and finally got it to work with a very, very simple fix, which pissed me off even more. But we're going to ignore that and hope that this show runs well, Jack. I'm just saying.
Well, I hope that every day. Oh, it's Angela's birthday today.
Angela, happy birthday. I know you're out there celebrating, representing Jack down there at the Comic-Con.
Woo!
Yeah, so Angela, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angela. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweetheart. I hope you have a great one and that you're enjoying yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, Jack. I don't know if you saw this, but Biden cheat sheet shows he had advanced knowledge of journalist questions.
Yep, we have the same article.
I don't even know what to say about this. I honestly don't.
I do. Yeah, figured.
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty much where I'm at. We know that they collude with the Democrats all the time.
Yeah.
This isn't. It's surprising that they got caught, not surprising that they did it. A cheat sheet held by President Biden during a Wednesday press conference revealed that the 80-year-old commander-in-chief had advanced knowledge of a question from a journalist. How are you squaring your domestic priorities like reshoring? Okay. Semiconductor manufacturing with alliance-based foreign policy, read a question from Los Angeles Times reporter Courtney Subramanian. I don't know. By the way, on the cheat sheet, her name is actually phonetically spelled out for the president. And
yeah, I mean,
he skips it because it's just her last name that's done that way. And what he says is the first question from Courtney from the Los Angeles Times.
That's too complicated. It looks like gibberish.
I can't say that. The revelation came during a joint press conference with South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol. I don't know how to say that. That discussed growing nuclear threats from North Korea as the nations celebrate the 70th anniversary of their alliance. Another cheat sheet showed the names of other Biden administration officials to relay the order remark would be delivered at the press conference. This is sad.
What do you want? He's dementia riddled. I mean, there's no way around it. He has cognitively slipped so far. He can't even be prepared for a fucking question. That's why there's no debates for the Dems. He can't do it. There's no way. He can't form a coherent sentence. The Easter Bunny has to tell him which way to go, and he talks to ghosts. I mean, is this a shock that he needs a card to like remind him of shit? I almost need that.
I hear you, but that's not what this is. This isn't because of his cognitive decline. I mean, if that's what it was, he wouldn't understand the question on the sheet of paper either.
I get what you're saying though, because it does go to their obvious collusion with the media.
Exactly.
But I think it's both. I think it's because he's so forgetful. He forgets who gives him the softball questions. So his staff is behind the scenes, like gluing everything together for him. And that's why a lot of people like Ron Klain and that chick that just left, Susan Rice, they're all fleeing the ship. They know this is a shit show.
You might be right about that. It just, for me, it's the press collusion that we've seen so many times with them. We saw them covering for this motherfucker the whole time he ran for president. Again, it's not surprising that they did it. It's surprising they got caught. And they just happened to get caught because pictures were taken where you could see it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Jack, am I still here?
Yeah, it's blowing my nose.
Oh, okay. Just making sure, because it sounded like there was a little break up there.
Yeah, I had to mute real quick before I sneezed. And
oh, that's fair.
That and I have food, so it's getting cold.
Look, he's got several cards here, and on the second, see who's going to be. This is just. Last June, the president exposed a comically worded cheat sheet with detailed instructions. You enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to participants, the note read, then immediately directed the oldest ever president, you take your seat.
Yeah. Well, that's the type of thing you have to write down for somebody like him because of his cognitive decline. But the fact that he's waving these things around, like he's not subtle about it because he doesn't have the cognizance to keep these things secret.
I always go back to the Obama thing. I mean, they used to have a weekly press conference to tell the press in secret, a weekly round table to tell the press what they should talk about that week.
Yeah.
It's not surprising they do this. They wouldn't have done this shit for Trump. They wouldn't have given him the questions in advance so that he could, be ready to go.
No, this is the type of scandal like with FDR being crippled and they kept that a secret. This does affect how the public perceives the president. I almost said the dear leader. But they can't allow that to violate their narrative. Their narrative takes precedent over what the people need to know.
Yeah, this goes into talk about where Biden has had to walk stuff back before. And again, I understand the cognitive issues, but our press is dirty as fuck, man.
Oh, absolutely. And so is our government. But the press is just an extension of the administration now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this shouldn't surprise anyone. And I know we're not shocked by it.
Well, frankly, and I kind of did it myself, not that it's going to matter that much. That reporter should be shamed for this shit.
Yes.
Why
absolutely.
in the fuck did you give them a question in advance? You should be like, oh, hell no. No. That's not, I speak truth to power. I am not just going to let you go out there and steamroll us with bullshit answers that you put together in advance. But this is where the cognitive part comes in, Jack, because I guarantee you his answers were on his teleprompter. Because he gave a speech too, so there was a teleprompter there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So he didn't actually answer these. His aides answered this because he's fucking really old and lost his goddamn mind.
Yeah, he's a glorified puppet.
Yes, he is. And this is, oh God, I saw this and I did laugh. I'm not going to lie because it's funny that he got caught. But this is so depressing. Our media, the people, that their favorite thing to say, we hold truth to power. We stand up to these guys. No, you don't. You're literally fucking doing their work for them. How the fuck is this woman in the media? She's a journalist and not being fired for that. Well, because I mean, it's him and not Trump. If they had done this for Trump, they'd have fired her ass.
Oh, absolutely.
And she deserves to be fired for this because this is I need somebody to give me a good reason you would ever give the president your questions in advance at a press conference.
There really isn't one.
There's not. Should have given them a fake question and then switched to a real question. Oh, I agree, Faithless. If it was me, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? And then we get up there and be like, how come your son still doesn't pay proper child support to his kid?
Oh, did you see that he was apparently trying to dodge a subpoena? Yeah, he was hiding out. It's like staying at the White House so he couldn't be served in a case against him for child support.
Well, Hunter's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This is a guy who hooks up with his dead brother's wife, and I still say they hooked up while his brother had cancer.
Oh, quite likely. He's that much of a garbage person.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. I hope someone asked Donna Brazil for comment. No shit. But anyway, this motherfucker, while he's with his brother's wife, who he was cheating on his own wife with and ended up getting divorced because of it, goes out and bangs a nasty-ass stripper. Sorry, lady, I don't know you, but you were a stripper. And knocks her up. And this woman has to fight for, more than a year to prove custody. And custody's finally proven, and they're like, okay, here's your child support. And this motherfucker was like, can we get that reduced? I only got Biden money. I only got like 15, 20, 30 million dollars. I can't be paying for this kid to have like Lunchables, man. It's a little too much for me. I ain't making any money right now. I ain't making none right now though. So could he maybe get by on the Walmart Lunchable? And this motherfucker went back to court to be like, yeah, it's too much. And this kid never gets invited to the White House. This kid never gets invited to go hang out with Joe and the family. Because, I mean, his mom's a stripper. But it's your kid. You did it.
Maybe they should get the kid some, like, fresher smelling shampoo.
Oh, maybe that would do it. Get him some herbal essences.
I'm telling you, herbal essence is Joe's favorite.
Does not even get a stocking at Christmas. Yeah, they had the Biden family stockings up there. That kid's name ain't on it.
Yeah.
Got the whole family except for that little bastard. And I'm not being mean to the child. He is a bastard.
Yeah, that's just, it is what it is. I mean, I feel bad enough that the kid has to admit that that's his dad.
No shit. Fuck the whole Biden family, man. But back to the story. I'm so tired of our press. I really am. I'm just sick of them. How do you get caught? How do you get caught with this? You don't give him like a binder that this shit is in. It's kind of, I mean, I guess they will now. That's protected from the side so somebody with a camera can't go, peek. For fuck's sake, man. Oh, but that's what they do. They collude with the Democrats. It's why he's president. It is why he's president. When you want to talk about what was wrong with the election, I know everybody has a lot of opinions about stuff we can't talk about. What we can talk about is the fact that the press buried every bad thing about Joe Biden. That is factual, that is provable, and it happened over and over and over. Missed some. What'd I miss? Or was I cut out there for a minute? Jack, are you over there eating?
Yeah, I told you.
I didn't.
You always send me the link when I've got food in the oven.
Yeah, I mean, that's not true.
80% of the time, you send me the link when I'm about to eat.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Oh, I get what's going on in chat. All right, so nobody missed anything. When it comes to them, I'm just so tired of them doing this bullshit and getting away with it. And then Trump gets in trouble for saying that they're the enemy of the people. I wouldn't go so far as to say the press is the enemy of the people.
I'm pretty close on that one.
I hear you. But what they are is absolutely the propaganda arm of the DNC.
Oh, yeah 100% on that.
There's no question.
Yeah. And they're more than willing to craft a narrative that benefits them time and time again, and they never apologize for anything they get wrong.
But oh boy, do they enjoy when Fox News fucks up.
Well, yeah, that's the real enemy of the people, is that sinister Fox.
When the Covington thing happens, how many different news organizations settled with Sandman?
Quite a few.
Several. And there was no like big media fanfare about it. Like, oh, I guess this shows how bad they are at their job.
No, because they know that the narrative of the history of it is going to be with them, because it's going to be the surviving documentation. If they acknowledge that they did anything wrong, that will survive as well. So they try and bury that as much as possible, so they never look like they're wrong. They are the victors historically that way.
Meanwhile, if Fox News misplaces a paperclip, they'd be like, oh my God, there's some kind of bad shit going on at Fox News. And they'll talk about it for days and days and days. They still haven't shut up about the whole Tucker and Hannity and Laura Ingraham and their texts behind the scenes during the January 6th insurrection. They basically caused it, you guys. They knew it was all a lie. Except for that's not exactly what that stuff said. Murdoch said that, but that's not what the host said. Speaking of which, Jack, I don't have the story. Do you have the story about you know what? Let's go to the Tucker video, shall we? I haven't seen this yet.
Indeed.
Is it the top or top one? Okay, I see it. Let's get this queued up.
While you're getting that set up, thank you, Shio. Hear me out. Drag gun shows. Just a big burly dude in a drag costume twirling down a stripper pole with a shotgun primed against his hip, firing off confetti rounds into the crowd to reinforce the loved in security and not for their food, clothing. No, I can't do that. They have to earn their entertainment in the loved in.
Damn Skippy.
Thanks, Shio. I'll keep your ideas in mind.
Ain't no free rides around here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you out. All right. This is Tucker Carlson, his first statement, as far as I know, since the firing. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but here we go.
Good evening. It's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also. A lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are.
Can I just say he's not wrong? The majority of debates you see on TV are stupid, and it's planned that way.
Well, they assume their audiences are dumb, so act accordingly, I guess.
You ever pay attention to the kind of conservatives they bring onto like CNN?
Yeah.
They're basically drooling on themselves.
Yeah, or they're hit the secret lefties like Scarborough.
Oh, sure, sure. All right.
They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources.
Again, he's not wrong. The major stories that, Jack, how many times have we talked about things that you don't see in the mainstream news and then suddenly it becomes a big deal? Say, I don't know, Ukraine.
Yeah, we were talking about Ukraine for a good 2 months, I think, before it blew up into an actual war.
It was longer than that.
Probably.
Because we were talking about the possibility of whether it would be China or Ukraine that was the one that was going to be at war for, God, it's been almost a year before it happened. I want to say it was the April before, so almost a year, like 10 months.
That wouldn't surprise me. We're usually pretty on top of the news.
And it's not like there's no news coverage of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't see it because it's not like we went to Ukraine or anything.
No, but it's one of those things that they passingly mention so they can say they covered it. Just like that skirmish with India.
Oh, right. I never saw any of that in the mainstream news. And meanwhile, look, I get what he's saying. Now, I do think he's kind of wrong about like the trans issue right now, which is one of the biggest ones being argued on TV. I don't think that's going away in 5 years. God, I hope it is. But I don't think it is. I think that one's a fight that's here to stay for a while. But otherwise, yeah, it's a lot of fucking nonsense going on. Meanwhile, real issues are pushed aside. See, I even do this on videos I haven't watched before.
Yeah, that's okay.
When was the last
It's my thing.
time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues?
Oh, well, in fairness, you're not allowed to have a legitimate debate about Ukraine because if you're not just all the way up Zelensky's ass, then you are, what is it, pro-Russian, you hate America, and you're probably some kind of dirty bitch.
Yeah, you're probably a Russian spy.
Probably a Russian spy or a Russian bot, Jack.
Yeah, you disinformation program you.
It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it.
True.
Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state.
True.
That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them.
Okay, I hear him there. The problem is the party faithful are fucking brain dead. They don't have to believe it.
Yeah, they're basically mind-controlled zombies at this point, where they just sort of go along with whatever they're told. I think there's a lot more people that fall into that these days than we've seen historically.
Going back to the Ray Epps thing, I told you they were going to start pushing that, hey, everybody's trying to pin it on him when nobody's trying to pin the whole thing on him. But that became the narrative. And goddamn, if that's not what you started seeing all of these fucking retards on Twitter say. Because they just listen and repeat.
Why are you trying to blame all this on Ray Epps, monkey?
Because the Russians told me to.
Oh, that explains why we're watching a Tucker clip.
Putin told me to. That's why. He gave me a bunch of money to do it.
Yeah, I know that's a lie.
Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful.
Oh God, again, I wish this was true, Jack. I hear what he's saying, and in a normal, rational world, yeah.
But we don't live in that world. We live in bizarro world.
Yeah, we went off we separated from the main timeline somewhere, and shit's gone crazy.
Damn you, CERN.
That's probably what it was.
I blame CERN.
CERN and white women are the problem with the world.
Yeah, CERN corrupted the white women. It upset the pH balance of the world, and here we are.
Yeah.
At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
Did you catch that at the end there?
See you soon.
Specifically, what he said about there's some places left where you can speak truth. Is he going to Rumble?
He might be.
Huh. And with his see you soon, I'm curious. Oh, man, that would be a fucking coup if they could get him.
I think he's alluding to the fact that he's going to become a pirate. So he's see on the sea, get it? See,
I got you.
Yeah, he's going to start a piracy network, rebuild the pirate kingdoms, and do a pirate TV broadcast then from his command ship.
Faithless said it was a pitch for his new show or new network. It would be interesting if he did do a new network, but him alluding to the fact that there's places out there that you can makes me think he's going to go to one of them.
It's a possibility.
Which at this point, Jack, if we're just being honest about it, the kind of places that could afford him, maybe The Blaze, maybe Daily Wire. Rumble can afford him. I don't know if the audience that he would want would be there, you know.
Yeah.
Certainly not YouTube.
No. I think the strongest contenders are going to be Rumble, Daily Wire. Because Glenn Beck's been making a lot of jokes about getting Tucker on, but I don't think they can afford him. And I don't think it'd be a particularly good fit. But Daily Wire, I could see them picking him up.
Oh, yeah. I would be very interested to be a fly on the wall when he's on the phone these days.
Yeah. I'm sure he's getting several offers.
Massive says Twitter. Maybe. I don't think Twitter has proven itself as a video platform yet, though.
Yeah.
So my guess is going to be Rumble or Daily Wire, like you said. I think they're the only ones who can legit make an offer for him.
Yeah. Apparently he has his home studios at his homes in Maine and Florida. I didn't know that. I always thought he was based out of DC. But yeah, apparently he has his own studios, so he's probably got his own camera equipment. Obviously a set. So that could be really interesting. He's already got the infrastructure there to actually film everything. I don't see why he couldn't do it on his own if he wanted to.
Thank you, S. Cybertaz. If Fox let him break his contract / non-compete, they fired him. That contract's broken by them. And
yeah, he's not obligated by anything unless he agreed to sign something after he got fired.
As a parting thing. Soaring Bum, thank you. Tucker joins InfoWars. I don't think Alex has that kind of money anymore.
It'd be funny though.
That's all going to people up in wherever the hell that's at.
Sandy Hook. Yeah,
the Sandy Hook folks.
Still bullshit.
The end of that, that was definitely a pitch for some kind of show.
Yeah.
And look, I think it would be great if there was another network started. I think the more networks there are that push back against the leftist bullshit, the better. But starting a new network, you need other talent as well. It can't just be Tucker for a couple of hours and you just replay that all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you could build up to that, but certainly not immediately. Anyhow,
Yeah, I think he'd just join somebody or do his own thing for a little while and then either build up based on that or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah, sure. Interesting wording though, and very well picked.
Yeah.
There's still places you can do that. See you soon. All right. Tucker Carlson will become the white Tyler Perry. I can feel it. He's just going to make movies where he plays himself a lot. Anyhow, Jack, we have other stories as well today.
Oh, yeah.
There were stories out there about Tucker and how people with familiarity with the situation are spreading rumors about why he actually left. And Hi King Fenor Alpha Chad of Middle Earth, thank you so much. Laugh my ass off. What if he joined TYT? Oh, Tank definitely doesn't have that kind of money.
It'd be funny.
Have you noticed how dark the studios are getting over there? They can barely keep the lights on.
Every third bulb is taken out to save money.
It's dark as shit over at their studios half the time. Looks like rolling brownouts without them actually happening.
Well, I mean, it's California. There's a possibility they are running off a generator.
That's true. But some of the rumors are that there was other stuff, Jack. There was redacted stuff in the depositions. And supposedly it was about him being mean to other people and stuff.
Oh,
and
bastard.
The reason they decided to settle is because the lawyers on the other side were going to ask the judge to allow that in, even though it had nothing to do with the fucking case. So the judge probably would have said, fuck no, we've already said no once. We're going to keep saying it. But then it got to the big guys at the top. They finally got to see it. And they're like, oh my God, if this gets out, it could ruin us. We have to fire Tucker.
Oh noes.
At this point, I think a lot of people are just grasping at straws.
Yeah, there's a lot of desperation out there.
Well, everybody wants to be the one who breaks the story of what took Tucker down.
And then claim credit for it.
Yeah, I still think that they're using the lawsuits because there's also that one from that woman that nobody cares about. But they're using those as kind of a justification because Tucker got too big. Just like O'Reilly, they just got too big. And Murdoch is like, no, you can't be bigger than Fox itself. And you can't argue that without Tucker, Fox is nothing. Right now, without Tucker, Fox is nothing. So
yeah, they don't have any real stars anymore. What do you got? Hannity, who looks like a Santaran potato. Nobody's that interested in Hannity. He's not particularly interesting, and he sounds kind of retarded half the time. So they don't have any big names, big draws anymore.
Hannity took a big hit when Rush died, and he couldn't steal his shit anymore.
Yeah, because that was pretty much what he did.
Yeah, Rush was smart, and Hannity's not.
Yeah, Hannity is not a smart man at all. He's kind of dumb, and he repeats himself a lot, and he thinks he's witty and adorable, and he's not. He just looks like a weird blobby potato man. Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. Rolling Brownout was also Chenk's high school nickname. You're about to get the buffalo. Rolling Brownout. I can see that.
Jennifer says, I remember Tucker being a young guy with a bow tie on Crossfire, I think. Yes, it was Crossfire. I never imagined he'd be this big and this important, and we'd be talking about this. I don't think Tucker thought that either at the time. Tucker's taken a weird course to get to where he is.
Yeah.
But anyway, St. Fugi says, I don't get the Tucker hate I've seen, though. People have gotten crazy. He dares to go against the approved narrative, and it doesn't have to even be all that often to do it. You just got to do it once or twice, Jack. And look what they've done to J.K. Rowling. However you say her name. She just disagreed on him on the biological aspect of men and women. That's it.
Well, if you go against the narrative, you must be destroyed. It's just the facts, monkey.
And this is a woman who shaped the lives of most of the people who then started attacking her over that.
Yep.
She used to be their god, and now, oh my God, we can't even watch Harry Potter anymore because it just reminds me of her transphobia.
Oh.
So overly dramatic.
A bunch of drama queens.
All right, let's move along with our stories tonight, Jack.
Okay.
And I'm going to warn you guys, I have not read any of the stories we're talking about because I was playing video games all day. Thousands of tequila bottles containing liquid meth seized. I feel like we might have a problem with drugs in this country.
Maybe a little bit.
That war on drugs isn't going so well, is it? It's like Vietnam at this point.
Well, to be fair, the Chinese keep funding a lot of it. Like the fentanyl all comes from China and North Korea, and it's shipped down to Mexico where the cartels cut it up and send it into the States.
The Mexican Navy has seized almost 10 tons of liquid methamphetamine hidden in 11,520 bottles of tequila intended for export, it said in a statement on Monday.
How bad do you have to fuck up that the Mexican Navy caught you?
Pretty bad. Did they run ashore?
I mean, did they just be like, hey, guess what we got?
Authorities located 8,640 kilograms, 9.5 U.S. tons of the drug using sniffer dogs and a chemical identification system after inspecting a container housing 960 boxes and the tequila bottles at the port of Manzanillo, a city on the western coast of Mexico. Samples were taken to a Navy laboratory for further analysis where they were confirmed to be meth. Wow. Already this year, the Navy seized and destroyed approximately 114 tons of meth. God damn, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Americans weren't doing so many drugs, people wouldn't send so many here.
It's a chicken and the egg kind of situation.
I mean, supply and demand, man. Nobody's going to send a bunch of drugs that nobody's going to take.
I suppose.
Americans, stop doing drugs, you dumb shits.
You're not my mom. Freedom!
Freedom! Australian border officials found $1 million worth of liquid meth inside snow globes in 2019. Meanwhile, U.S. border officials found about $266,000 worth of liquid meth inside of the gas tanks of a truck in 2020.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one.
I think I remember the Australian one. Good God. This... stop putting nasty shit into your body. Stick with the simple things.
Like Mexican bologna.
Vaxcan says true, but you'll never stop the demand for drugs. That's true. I mean, you can't stop it. I don't know what the answer is, honestly, because it is a problem. It's a problem. At least this time it wasn't fentanyl, Jack.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not exactly a lot better.
It's meth. It's going to make you suck a dick and lose your teeth. Isn't that what happens to all meth heads?
Pretty much.
Meth is the leading cause of blowjobs in the United States. It's taken over prom night.
Yeah, it's a dirty blowjob from some well, they got meth mouth, so they're gross people.
Luckily, though, I mean, they've lost all their teeth, so you don't have to worry too much about biting.
I don't know. They might have like a crack pipe in there or part of their meth pipe, and it'll cut your dick. Then you get an infection.
Good God, I don't understand. I'm not the kind of person who enjoys drugs, Jack. I like my mind being normal.
Yeah, I'm a bit controlling on that front.
Yeah, it's totally a control thing. I don't like getting drunk either.
I'm an angry drunk, so I don't like getting drunk either.
It can be fun from time to time, but yeah, as soon as I start losing control of myself, it's like, it's time for bed so this shit can wear off.
Yeah.
Oh, this second article is the one we read at the top of the show. So let's go down to the third one, shall we?
Indeed.
All right. Let's see.
I didn't give them to you in any particular order, so where I usually try and screw you over.
This is horrible. Autistic Jewish teen is attacked, has swastika carved on his back at Las Vegas high school.
Yeah.
I hope they find whoever did this and beat the ever-living. An autistic Jewish teen had a swastika carved on his back in a heartless anti-Semitic assault at his Las Vegas high school, with the FBI now prepared to jump into the unsolved case. Did the kid not see who did it?
Keep going.
No, he didn't. Hoax. Matt and Blonde covered this bullshit. How do you fake getting scratched on your back with a... All right. The teen's distraught mother alerted authorities that her 17-year-old nonverbal son returned home from Clark High School on March 9th with the hate symbol etched on his back. How does a nonverbal kid go to high school?
Inclusion classes. You'd be shocked how much this sort of thing, this mainstreaming is what they call it. They used to call it inclusion. Now it's mainstreaming, and they just send them to these schools.
They got
to be at a separate school.
I'm sorry if you have a retarded kid, but retarded kids should not be going. And this, if he can't speak, I consider that a retardation because you should be.
Yeah, that's severe autism.
You shouldn't be in regular school. You just shouldn't be.
No, it's not. It's best for them and the people around them, for everybody's learning benefit, to have them in a place they can handle their special needs.
The mom who said her son's service dog equipped bag was also service dog equipment bag.
Yeah, you gotta have poop pads and
okay, I gotcha. Was also tampered with, has pulled her son from the school. But because the school doesn't have surveillance cameras in the classroom, locker rooms, and bathrooms, the cruel culprits remain unnamed and unpunished. My son is the only student I know who wears a kippah at the school, referring to a type of yarmulke traditionally worn by Jewish men and boys. The mother and her son have not been identified. Meanwhile, the case unsolved nearly 2 months later, the FBI said it was ready to join the probe. It's been 2 months. You're not going to catch who did it.
No, unless somebody rats them out. I'm not ruling out the possibility this is a hoax, but the kid's an easy target. Let's face it. If he's nonverbal, his mom's making him wear that kippah, and it makes him an easy target for pretty much anybody.
We are aware of the incident and in regular contact with local authorities, the agency said in a statement. If during the local investigation, information comes to light of a potential federal civil rights violation, the FBI is prepared to investigate.
Unless somebody diddles them.
It's not an FBI matter.
No, not at all.
The anti-Semitic assault sparked outrage from the Israeli American Council, which called it inhumane. In a statement to I don't care about the rest of it. They denounced the attack. Like they'd be like, yeah, that little fucking mute Jew deserved it. You know what I mean?
right?
They denounced the attack. No shit. You don't have to write that. Oh, God damn it.
Kind of implied. They're not like, well, he's autistic, so it's cool.
At
Nobody
least
says
hoped.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nonverbal doesn't mean he can't point. Yeah, I get that, but maybe he's afraid of whoever did it to him. I don't know what happened to the kid.
If he's actually autistic and he's nonverbal, which is kind of redundant, he's probably not able to do that. It's not simply that he can't talk. There's a lot of other problems that are compounded on that make him nonverbal.
And for that to be a hoax, that would mean his mom had to have scratched that onto him.
Which is always a possibility.
I guess.
She's making him wear a kippah. If he's a nonverbal autistic, then it's quite likely he has no idea what that means. This is not internet autism. This is actual autism.
Faithless says the scratch is so insignificant you get worse while carefully picking roses. I don't care that they didn't actually like carve into his skin deeply. I mean, they scratched a swastika on a Jewish kid. That's fucked up.
Yeah, whoever did it, whether it was somebody doing this for hoax or somebody at the school, yeah, fuck them. It's pretty scummy to do that to an autistic kid, like a severely autistic kid.
That would be fucked up to do to a regular kid.
Yeah.
Beat him up and scratch a swastika on a Jewish kid? Fuck you.
Yeah, but this kid, if he's nonverbal in the traditional sense of what autism is, then he's incapable of understanding what's happening to him. And this is it's worse than beating on a retard.
Yeah. Look, guys, not all hate crimes are fake.
I don't know on this one. Even if his mom did it, she should be charged because this is at minimum child abuse.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I'm tempted to just say, yeah, this probably happened because kids can be assholes. If it turns out to be a hoax, then the people who perpetrated it also should go to jail.
Somebody still scratched this kid. He could not have done that himself if he is nonverbal. Makes him borderline retarded. Then somebody's abusing somebody with special needs, and that's really disgusting.
Yep. Whoever did it, I hope bad things happen to him.
Yeah, I hope they get caught, because whether it was his mom or somebody else, there's a photo of it, so somebody got scratched.
Thank you. Whether it's bullies or the mom, I don't much care. I hope they get fucked by the long. Oh, I gotta be careful with some of that. Let me. We got to be careful on what we hope for people around here. YouTube has rules. We don't want bad people harmed in any way.
Yeah, they do seem to enjoy protecting bad people.
All right, Keldon, I'm going to clean this up best I can. Whether it's bullies or mom, I don't much care. I hope they get stuff happening to them from the law. If the law don't do it, I hope karma comes for the dick bags. Yes, I agree. I agree. Fuck them. I don't care who did it. They deserve to be jailed for it. Civil War reenactor pleads guilty to placing pipe bomb at battlefield. Was he just going for some realism?
Well, they didn't do a lot of pipe bombs back then, so.
Hey, this was posted on my birthday. Gerald Leonard Drake, 63, initially tried to blame anti-fascist protesters for a pipe bomb he planted. Hey, little hoax. Hey, you guys wanted a hoax? Here's a hoax. A Civil War reenactor has pleaded guilty to charges that he planted a pipe bomb at a Virginia battlefield in 2017 and wrote letters falsely claiming that Antifa protesters were to blame. How'd they catch him?
Well, he didn't seem real smart, so.
Prosecutors on Tuesday announced the guilty plea from Gerald Leonard Drake, 63, of Winchester. Drake admitted during a hearing Monday in federal court in Harrisonburg that he planted a pipe bomb at Cedar Creek Battlefield during an annual reenactment in October of 2017. The bomb did not detonate, but it resulted in the cancellation of the reenactment after its discovery. You know, I just want to pause there for a second. The bomb didn't detonate, but it did cancel the show. Is it me, or does that seem like a severe step down from a bomb going off?
I think they were hoping there were more. So,
Maybe.
because that's probably why they shut it down. But they're like, disappointingly, the minefield didn't get any more notice.
All right. Where are we? Drake was a Civil War reenactor who regularly participated in events at Cedar Creek until he was expelled from his unit in 2014. How do you get expelled from a reenactment of the Civil War?
You have to be a real dickbag. Those people are pretty loose with who they let join. They're just like, you like beer and dressing up in wool?
Right.
All right, you're in. No furries. That's pretty much their rules.
You do have to be authentic. I'm using air quotes there. As authentic as you can be. The uniform has to look right. Typically, they take the role of a soldier that they know of.
Mm-hmm.
And he's maybe it is like the South Park thing where he just refuses to die. I shot you. No, you didn't. Fuck you.
Yeah. It might be. Who knows? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this. Thank you, Travis Gardner. Liquid meth. Hell, they tunnel under the border. Why don't they just make a pipeline and pump it over? Or are the best plumbers doing construction in Houston? I think the best plumbers are trying to save Princess Peach. But yeah, don't give them ideas, Travis. They probably are doing that. Won't surprise me at all. Kind of a brilliant idea.
He also admitted writing letters in 2017 and 2018 in which he falsely portrayed himself as part of a group of Antifa activists who were targeting the reenactment because they believed them to glorify slavery. What?
That sounds like some hero complex stuff. Like, I set a fire so I could save everybody from the building fire.
I hear you, but I'm kind of stuck on Antifa was actually protesting these guys because it glorified slavery. They do know what that war did, right?
I highly doubt it. No, they don't understand linear time. So, I mean, would you be shocked? Because let's face it, Antifa, not the most brilliant group of people here.
They're not even borderline retarded. They crossed that border and just kept running.
Yeah, that's why they have to hit things, because mostly they're nonverbal. Bunch of kid diddlers. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Now, are we sure he didn't just join a neo-Nazi gang? Maybe he just wanted to rebel against his overprotective mom. I mean, he is retarded. Joining neo-Nazis as a Jew is really a retarded thing to do. I have a lot of questions also, Evolved, but I don't rule it out. Instead of the SS, they joined the...
He wanted his Jaegerman's s'mores flavored schnapps. I get that reference. The defendant sought to intimidate and harm innocent people, and further, he tried to sow discontent by falsely claiming that the attempt bombing was politically motivated. I mean, it wasn't politically motivated. He was just kind of a douchebag.
Cannibal makes a really good point. I bet they caught him because it was well made.
I hope the fucker goes to jail.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Satsu says he had to package another order. Now he's watching anime.
That's cool. So Antifa is targeting them, and this guy decided to use that to get back at people who kicked him out for reasons we weren't told about, which kind of makes me upset. I wanted to know why he was kicked out.
Yeah, somebody said it in chat. He probably wasn't drunk enough. That's always a possibility. Maybe he didn't really love the Civil War. He was more of an 1812 kind of guy and kept talking about it. They're like, no, we're Civil War reenactors. He's like, yeah, but if it wasn't for Commodore Perry, we wouldn't have won. And they're all like, dude, shut up about 1812. Nobody gives a fuck. That's the forgotten war. Nobody cares about it. It was like 6 weeks long. He's like, yeah, but you don't understand. see, William Henry Harrison, he did this thing. And they're like, shut up! Nobody cares!
Literally nobody cares about the War of 1812.
Yeah.
Didn't it just kind of end?
Yeah, it was like the most pointless fucking conflict on earth. It was mostly because the British were fighting the French in the Napoleonic Wars, and they were running out of like sailors, so they were conscripting our sailors and saying they were runaway sailors from their armies or from their fleet. So they were just it was called gang pressing. They just grab people off of boats and drag them into the British Navy. And we're like, hey, knock it off. And they're like, fuck you. And we're like, no, fuck you. And the next thing you know, they're burning the White House down.
And then we all were like, all right, let's stop. And everybody go home.
Yeah, basically, when the war ended, the borderlines went back to what they were prior to the war. Because our big decision was to invade Canada. And because that was British territory at the time. And that didn't really work out because Thomas Jefferson's like, oh, they'll just, they'll want to be Americans. And they didn't. They liked being under the boot of the crown.
Yeah, so we should have known that by the fact that they all ran away from the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, and a lot of good things did come from the War of 1812. Like that's the Battle of New Orleans is how Andrew Jackson ended up getting in office. So good for him, even though he did the Trail of Tears. But it also opened up Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, and one of the other states to being actual states because that was all British territory technically. Like they were running it. So it was kind of our gateway to the West. And it did establish that we own the Great Lakes and the Canadians could go fuck themselves. So yeah, that pretty much solidified that. So there's that. But otherwise, it was pretty irrelevant.
You just explained a whole bunch of stuff nobody cares about because it was the War of 1812.
Exactly. That's my point. And this dude probably would not shut up about the goddamn War of 1812 or the Spanish-American War or some shit. And they're like, we don't care.
Hang on, I got a couple of donations here. This is Kyle. Thank you so much. Hello, chat people, Monkey and Jack. Y'all brought up women that can write good stories the other day. I would like to mention the author of Full Metal Alchemist, Hat to Jack, Part 1. Thank you so much for that feminist $12. And Frosted, thank you. War of 1812 equals Die Hard 5, short and forgettable. Well, Jack, speaking of maybes, or boats at least, we have cruise line let passenger's body decompose according to a lawsuit.
Before we get into that, thank you, Travis Gardner. I was a Cold War reenactor, sat around and didn't press buttons. I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
Please read my last message. How far back is it?
Cannibal brought up that Andrew Jackson had to be pulled off an attempted assassin because he was going to beat him to death. Yeah, Andrew Jackson was a hothead who had a real violent streak. And he liked to do duels and just beat on random people for stupid shit. And his wife was a bigamist, and he got really bent out of shape about it.
Skipster, you can go ahead and drop that into chat. I gave you a wrench for a moment so you can do it. This is Kyle. Thank you. A woman studied alchemical history to write the show. Also, the best scene is at a character's military funeral. My heart breaks every time his daughter asks, why are they putting dirt on daddy? Have to Jack. Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, that's wow.
I haven't even seen it, and that hit me in the heart. Damn. I've never seen the Full Metal Alchemist show. My sons liked it, but it's not something for me. So,
yeah, I've
sounds
only seen
interesting.
A couple episodes.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A widow and her family are suing Celebrity Cruise Lines for allegedly mishandling her husband's body after he died while they were on a ship last year, saying he was left to decompose and they suffered extreme emotional trauma. And they were at sea. Didn't they throw him over the fucking the side?
I don't think they're allowed to do that so much anymore.
Why not?
Would you like to be out like swimming with your family in the ocean and suddenly a body rubs up against them?
Well,
That's going to come inland at some point.
depends on how far out at sea. I mean, if they're too far out at sea, it's just going to become food.
It's a cruise line, dude. They don't go that far.
They're far enough out that the body. Well, you could weigh the body down.
It's just, I'm telling you, it just creates a lot of paperwork and hassle. Coast Guard's going to think it's somebody that was murdered by the like cartels or something.
Watch Dexter. You can get rid of a body. I'm just saying. They could have done it. They used to just throw people overboard. It's what we did. Anyway. After Marilyn Jones's husband of 55 years, Robert Jones, died of a heart attack August 15th on board the Celebrity Equinox, his body was stored for nearly a week inside a walk-in cooler, normally used for beverages instead of a properly chilled morgue as she was promised, according. What's the difference? How chilled is a morgue? Does anybody know?
It's pretty cold in there. Yeah, there's a distinct temperature difference between a walk-in cooler and a morgue.
What? How big of a difference, though?
Well, when you get a beverage out of the cooler at like 7-Eleven, is it really cold? Is it like is going to be frozen?
The walk-in coolers, I don't know how it is on this, but like at Walmart, they were like 35 degrees, something like that.
Yeah, but they're set at that temperature. It doesn't stay at that temperature because people are opening those little doors all the time.
Well, this doesn't sound like okay. I doubt
it's a beverage cooler. It's not a freezer.
It's a walk-in.
Yeah, which means people were going in and out.
Well, not unless, I mean, I'm hoping they move the beverages away from the dead guy.
Waste of space. This cruise ship, dude. They didn't get room for that.
That left the body bloated and green, and the family was unable to have an open coffin funeral, which was a long-standing family custom and was what his family had desired, the lawsuit says. Marilyn Jones, her 2 daughters, and 3 grandchildren are seeking $1 million in damages.
Nope. Sorry. No.
We didn't get to say goodbye to Grandpa. Give me $1 million. It'll make me feel all better about that.
Look, I hate cruise lines more than most people, but this is stupid.
I'm sorry. I don't believe that if it was in any kind of cooling condition that this body was bloated and green after a week.
I could see it. Because cruise lines are notorious for cutting corners, and if they didn't put him in a freezer, basically, it would start to decompose. But is it enough for a lawsuit? No.
Rick Ashbringer in chat says, from what I read, morgues are 36 to 39, which would be in line with a normal walk-in cooler. Celebrity Cruise declined to comment, citing the case's sensitivity and out of respect for the family. You put their dad in with the fucking energy drinks.
Yeah. Look, that might have been the only place they had to put him. Sure. Although most cruise lines do have an on-site morgue for situations like this, because what's their target demographic? Elderly people.
The elderly people, yeah.
So they do tend to have like a couple of slab freezers on hand, but they probably just wheeled them into the nearest unused cooler and were like, there you go.
According to the lawsuit, which was filed Wednesday in Fort Lauderdale, after Robert Jones died, his widow was given 2 choices by crew members. They allegedly told her that, she was I was going to read it and then I stopped, and now we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They allegedly told Marilyn Jones, then 78, and from the Florida Panhandle, none of that needs to be in this sentence.
Gotta pad that sentence for that word count, buddy.
For fuck's sake, if you were going to say this stuff, it should have been earlier when you introduced her to the story.
No, don't you tell me how to story tell.
Modern writers.
They're lazy and stupid.
They told him that his body could be taken off at the next stop, Puerto Rico, or stored in the morgue until the ship got back to Fort Lauderdale in 6 days. Because passenger deaths sometimes happen, most large cruise ships have a morgue. The crew told her that if she chose Puerto Rico, she would need to go with the body and then arrange transport for it and herself back to Florida. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you just get 2 tickets and ride on the boat. The smell won't change anything. It's Puerto Rico.
Right. And it's not up to the cruise line to get your body back home if you disembark.
Yeah.
She was also told the island authorities would perhaps require an autopsy, which could further delay their return. She didn't want that, so she left the body on the boat because she killed this old man.
Through sex. Old people sex.
She fucked him to death.
Ugh.
Crew told her, we did that one. Because Jones was alone, she picked the morgue, but that's not where the body was stored, the lawsuit says. When the ship arrived in Florida, the funeral home employee and a Broward County sheriff found the morgue apparently out of service. They found the body in a walk-in cooler in a bag on a pallet. Wow. According to the suit. It says the cooler was significantly warmer than the near freezing temperatures needed to properly store a body, and Robert Jones's remains were in an advanced stage of decomposition. See, they keep saying this, but what was the temperature of that freezer?
If it was warm enough to do decomp, it had to be over freezing.
Celebrities' actions caused the family extreme trauma by visualizing Mr. Jones's bodies horrifically decomposed and knowing their husband and father was callously and casually left in a beverage cooler, stripping him of his dignity.
If the morgue wasn't functioning, that was their only option. Is it callous? Maybe. But what's the other option? Let him rot?
In a bag. I don't understand. They took away his dignity. He was in a plastic bag. No matter where you put him, he's stripped of his dignity.
Yeah. Look, this is people that are mourning, lashing out because of the circumstance. For once, I'm siding with the fucking cruise line, and I absolutely hate that because I hate cruise lines. I think they're vile, scummy people who more often than not will look the other way to the crimes their people commit. But in this case, I think this is just somebody lashing out because of the circumstances. And it's tragic that he died, but they didn't have a lot of options if the morgue isn't working.
Yeah.
This is the best you could get.
Lion Patriot says pack ice on the body. Well, again, I don't know what they say significantly cooler or significantly warmer. My experience with walk-in coolers, and I haven't been on one on a ship, it's about the same temperature as a morgue from what we learned earlier up there about what morgue temperatures are.
No, because a walk-in cooler is more like a refrigerator, and a morgue is a lot more like a meat locker. There's a significant temperature difference when it comes to rotting.
I'm just going by what people in chat are telling us that looked it up, that it's 36 to 39 degrees, which is about what we keep our walk-in coolers at places I've worked.
Yeah, but that's it. It stores, not on a ship. The ship is not going to have the power resources to do that for every cooler.
Again, they didn't tell us what the temperature was. So
if it's enough for them to rot, then it's probably just like a refrigerator.
I would still say, I mean, I don't know. They didn't give us pictures. For all I know, the funeral home took him back and left his ass sitting out, and he got warm there. I have no idea. I'm just saying, no, it's a walk-in cooler, not a freezer. Walk-in freezers are fucking cold. You step into a walk-in freezer and your boogers freeze.
Yeah, well, when you're on the slab, that you're supposed to be almost to that point where you're going to develop ice crystals, because you have to keep that body from decomposing.
Slabs, Jack. You're supposed to check them.
Oh, sorry, I have a different screen pulled up. Thank you, Frosted Glass. When I was young, I had a pet mouse die. Only problem was it was winter, so the ground was too hard to bury him. So I put him in a cup of water in the freezer until spring. Just saying because I can relate. Though I doubt all the fur came off of Grandpa when he thawed. Jesus Christ, Frosted.
I can do without pictures of green zombie man. And somebody else said, thank God there's no pictures. Look, guys, I need all the evidence. Because these are people who are suing a cruise line for what happened here when, if their morgue wasn't working, they did literally the best they could have done.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry Grandpa ended up on a pallet. And I'm sorry Grandpa ended up, in a cooler with some 7-Up and Sprite. But what else were they supposed to do?
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it too. The semantics of the refrigeration aside, they did the best they could under the circumstances. And if their morgue's freezer isn't working, then they don't have a lot of options.
Maybe Grandpa turned green from whatever Grandma poisoned him with.
Maybe
That's
they
all
just
I'm
put
saying.
him too close to the Sprite bottles and the green label rubbed off on him.
That, you know what? That could be a thing too.
And look, you wanted an open casket. Life's not full of things that you want. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the reality of the situation. And it sucks. Life's harsh. Deal with it. You didn't get your way this time. Oh, sorry. This does look like a cash grab to me.
Yeah, exactly. Almost like, yeah, he died on there, so now we can get paid. If he died at home, man, shit.
Yeah. He died on a cruise ship. You have to make do with the circumstances life presents you. You don't have to like it. It's just the way things are. Let me grab a couple of things here. Thank you, Cryptic. You know the worst part about taking a corpse out on a date? They're quiet. They always give you the cold shoulder. And always seem pretty stiff when it comes to paying the bill. Also, they're a bad lay. And they just lay there like a sack of dead body. And thank you, Travis Gardner. Look, I am an expert in refrigerators, and I think they should have put him in the deli drawer or at least the crisper. No, the crisper I call the rotter because you put things in the crisper and forget about them. That's where things go to rot.
Absolute Degenerate says it's a much larger space and a temp can fluctuate due to people continually going in and out. You mentioned people going in and out. If it's the kind of freezer I'm thinking of, they're only going in and out a couple of times a day. You take everything you need at one time. You don't, hey, we need another case of Coke. Go grab one, Steve. You actually bring out enough to stock everything you need all at once.
No, I think this is more like the ones you see at the convenience store where the back room is directly connected. Like that walk-in freezer is connected to the front doors where people reach in and grab drinks.
And that's where I'm having a problem because I'm doubting that that's what it was. Because why would you put the body in there where there's a chance somebody would see it?
Well, it was in a bag.
Hey, there's a body bag back. Don't worry about it, man. It's beef for later tonight.
No, you just put it on a pallet in a bag, and then you put a row of like Coca-Cola bottles in front of it. Nobody's gonna see it. You got all these like stacks of soda drinks in front of it. It'd be like good to go. You gotta think out of the box, dude. Like honestly, if it were me, I would have taken one of the like the big freezers that they keep like the like turkeys and stuff in the kitchen and just empty one of those out and put it in there. And then be like, all right, we'll deal with that later. Nobody go in here. There's no food in here.
In a freezer. A body. Oh, good God. Go to pick up Grandpa and his arm breaks off.
Sounds like a them problem, not a me problem.
Come on, monkey. They put blankets on top of Grandpa. Maybe that was the issue. All right. Did you have something?
Travis dropped a link so you can see how much mortician freezer costs. It's $35,000. That's a lot cheaper than I expected.
That's actually not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, freight will cost you. But let's see here. Does it say the refrigeration drop-in self-contained refrigeration system with digital thermometer? easy to adjust temperature controls. Operating temperature 38 degrees.
There you go. You don't want them frozen. You want them cold.
Yeah, you want them right at the crispy level, so they don't get freezer burn. You know what? If I was super rich, I'd put one of these in my basement just to fuck with people. Like, give them a tour, and they're like, "What's that?" Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's for later.
Trans teen died from vaginoplasty complications during landmark Dutch study used to justify child sex changes. Shocking. You know, Jack, the more we learn about studies and stuff done for justifying trans nonsense, the more disgusted I get.
Yeah.
A 2016 medical article documenting the tragic death of one of the participants in the linchpin Dutch study upon which the entire child sex change experiment is based indicates that puberty suppression was to blame for the young person's death. The case is that of an 18-year-old trans-identified male who puberty blockers was blocked by the Dutch researchers at a very early stage, meaning there wasn't enough penile tissue for the surgeons to use to create a neo-vagina. So basically what happened to Jazz Jennings.
Yep. I imagine we're going to see a lot more of these with the push for puberty blockers by all these fucking creepers and weirdos.
Therefore, a more risky procedure using a section of the patient's bowel was... What?
Yeah, they use the colon.
Why?
They didn't have anything else to work with, I assume.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is disturbing to me.
It should be. It's fucked up.
At that point, I don't mean to be gross here, but if it hadn't have killed the person, and you had sex with them in their neo vagina, would you technically be butt fucking them?
Probably.
I think just from a medical perspective, that would be anal sex.
That'd be, yeah. No matter where you put it in, it'd be, it'd be like an anal fistula at that point.
Anyway, a section of the bowel was necessary, which resulted in fatal necrotizing fasciitis.
Yeah.
Fasciitis, thank you. The manuscript begins by saying that the absence of a functional vagina has a negative effect on the sexual quality of life of transgender women. And explains that multiple surgical procedures have been described for vaginal reconstruction in these patients. The patient is described as being healthy 18-year-old for whom standard vaginoplasty surgery was not feasible due to having underdeveloped genitals as a result of early puberty suppression. Puberty blockers killed this person. Can we get a round of applause for the doctors who care so much? Yay! Fucking assholes. Transgender women with early onset gender dysphoria treated with puberty suppressing hormones report fewer behavioral and emotional problems and an improved general function. What? Self-reporting, Jack. Self-reporting is how we should do everything. Like when a really fat chick says that she's healthy, she tells us she's healthy. We should just go with that.
Yeah, well, she's healthy at any size. Just ask her. Moo Fatty Pants is doing just fine. That heart is not crying.
Major complications began within 24 hours of surgery, and necrotizing fasciitis.
Yeah.
Okay. Was confirmed in the days that followed, despite large doses of intravenous antibiotics and, quote, repeated surgical debridement. The previously healthy patient went into multiple organ failure and died. I bet they feel much better as a trans woman now.
Well, it's gender affirmation. How could they not?
We should ask them. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, we can't. They're dead.
Once again, after this harrowing account. Harrowing. Leave me alone. Of a young person needless to death, the researchers assured the reader that vaginal reconstruction has a positive influence on the quality of life of non-transgender and transgender women. What?
Well, it's positive because you don't have to see a wiener in your gym anymore. Now you got to look at apparently somebody's butthole in the front.
What are they talking about? Vaginal reconstruction and non-transgender women?
I don't know. Maybe some chicks got some issues or something. I don't know. I don't fucking know what they're talking about here.
Shouldn't that say women and transgender women instead of non-transgender and transgender women? Because non-transgender women are just women.
Non-trans are just born that way.
The investigation into the young person. Q says there's a reason Monkey reads the articles ahead of time. You're right. There's a reason when I'm talking about an article that I brought, I don't read it to you because I've already read it and I don't sound like an idiot when I'm reading it out loud.
That's funnier this way.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but I laugh a lot.
The investigation into the young person's death revealed that the deadly strain of E. coli most likely came from the patient's own intestines, not from the hospital setting, meaning that the more risky vaginoplasty surgery necessary due to early puberty suppression almost certainly caused the fatality. You got E. coli from intestines? I'm shocked. Oh, wait, no, that's kind of where it's stored in the body, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where you'd probably find that. Which means if they had sex with somebody, it's probably in their wiener.
Hi, King Fenor Alpha Chad of Middle Earth. Thank you so much. He says, Monkey trying to say harrowing sounds like a drunk Harrison Ford. Thank you. I can say the word, just sometimes my brain's like, Sometimes my brain's like, we're going to do a Biden right now. Dr. Michael Biggs, a sociologist who played a key role in exposing the scandal that unfolded at the soon-to-be-closed Tavistock Gender Clinic in London, spoke of this tragic case in a recent interview with Wider Lens podcast. Biggs noted that while early puberty suppression for boys who experience childhood onset gender dysphoria has the advantage of creating a more feminine appearance in adulthood, the major disadvantage is the penis remains that of a small boy, making vaginoplasty much riskier. All right. We're going to stop reading this before I start getting very upset.
Oh, okay. Otho said vaginal reconstruction for women is meant to tighten up the muscles after the birth of multiple kids.
They also have it where they just trim up lips and stuff like that. That's been something for a long time.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny they said non-transgender instead of just saying women. But the idea that a woman getting her vag to look nicer or be tighter is any way similar to a dude having a hole cut inside of him that he's got to keep something jammed up so it doesn't close, and make sure you get the scrub brush really deep because it'll stink. It's nonsensical to compare those things.
A little bit, but again, the propaganda wing says that you have to be compliant with their demands or they have little hissy fits.
I want to talk about the last part that we read there, and I might get angry. This person died.
Yep.
Because you guys care more about how they look than their actual mental health and their actual health.
Absolutely.
It is not healthy for the human body to have puberty stopped. There's a reason we all go through it. It's part of our normal cycle of growing. And you motherfuckers are out there killing kids, mutilating children, telling them, oh, you'll look more feminine if you do this. Who gives a fuck if they look more feminine when the problem is You might kill him, you dumb son of a bitch. Oh, don't worry, we'll kill you later, but you're going to look like a girl until then.
Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. I tried to think of a way to get Jack to censor himself, but then I realized this is Monkey Stream and Jack don't care. It's not that I don't care, it's that I'm incapable of it because I tend to forget that I'm supposed to censor myself, and I just say whatever the fuck comes to mind. My governor switch doesn't work real well.
Nonsense. Jack is much more controlled here than he would be on his own show.
Yeah, I'm kind of a douchebag on my show.
Well, I'm the same way. If I go to somebody else's show, there's things I won't say just because I don't know their boundaries and I don't want to get them in trouble.
Yeah. I would feel bad if I got you in trouble.
Exactly. And
thankfully, usually you get blamed for shit I do.
When it's come to getting in trouble, I mean, it's always been me. It's always been me. Cryptic, thank you so much. A doctor accidentally emailed the results of all his vasectomy patients to everyone on the internet. They were publicly disseminated. Wow.
Come on, that's funny.
That is funny. But I was trying to be ranty and ravey.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine. This shit just annoys me. And no, annoys not the right word. It angers me.
Should. Because
seriously, you're talking about aesthetics. Stupid fucking shit that's meaningless. To people, you're trying to say, be your real self. Be your real self as you take these drugs that stop your body from doing what it's naturally supposed to do. Be your real self. Being your real self would be letting puberty happen. Being your real self would be like, yeah, all right, I am a boy. That would be being your real self. And they lie to these fucking kids. And they pump them full of drugs that they don't need, that will fucking destroy them.
And then butcher them.
Yes.
All in the name of tolerance. And this is all so repulsive.
No. In the name of care.
Yeah, you're right. And they do it for money. A lot of money.
This is Kyle. People have this twisted idea that to fix the mental health issues of people suffering from gender dysphoria is to mutilate their bodies. Road to hell and all that. Half to Jack. Thank you so much for that, feminist. $12. And yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
thanks, Kyle.
But you just hit on the one that really fucking irritates me. Because it is weird. If you've been paying attention, it is weird how the medical community has embraced this. This is a medical community that doesn't change their mind about fucking anything because they're like everything else, Jack. Like, no, I don't care how much proof you have. Yet suddenly with the transgender thing, they all jumped on board. They all just like, oh, okay, yes, absolutely. And there's only one good reason for that. And it is the disgusting amount of money they make off of it. These surgeries are not cheap. The follow-up is not cheap. The hormones are not cheap. The hormone, they're not puberty blockers, not cheap. None of this shit is cheap. And it is a lifelong thing if they can get you all the way, because you never stop. You pay over and over and over for the rest of your goddamn life. Big buck. And that's why they fucking do it. That's why the medical community jumped on board. It has nothing to do with care. They say, oh, it's gender affirming care. Bullshit.
No, it's wallet affirmation.
It is wallet affirmation. Absolutely. Well put.
Thank you.
Just pisses me off, man. And we're all supposed to sit back and pretend that, oh, yeah, that's the greatest thing ever. No, it's not. You are fucking destroying these people.
Yeah, this is more scandalous than lobotomies.
Yeah.
We're doing it for their own good to help others. No, you're not. You're doing it because you like hurting people. And you're doing it for the money. Fuck you. You're a bad person.
It's all about the money, man.
Yeah. I think a lot of these gender affirmation doctors should be in prison.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't give a shit about other people's safety or health or longevity. They care about their wallets.
The amount of money that they're making off this is obscene, and they're doing it at the expense of children.
Yeah, this is butchery. We were all horrified when Dr. Mengele was revealed for what he was, experimenting on people. How is this any different?
He says what's most sickening is how upfront it is. Yeah, they're not hiding what they're doing. They are hiding the profit motive, though.
Yeah, they're celebrating it because they know that if they could get it mainstreamed, they'll get more customers.
Yep. And they have no desire to actually cure any problem the person has.
Well, that's most medical field these days.
Absolutely. Customer cured is customer lost.
Yep.
If they actually, hey, what you need is intensive psychiatric help, and we're going to give you that. You'll probably be in the psychiatrist's office a couple of times a week for the next 5-10 years. That's not the same as, yeah, we're going to give you these drugs and you're going to have surgeries every 5 to 6 years. It's not the same amount of money for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of these kids, Jack, a lot of them, all they really need is somebody to look at them and go, stop it. Stop it.
A lot of them are just, some of them are attention seeking. Some of them are just lost. Some of them have other mental health issues. And then you've got people that are actually dysphoric, and those are the real tragedies here.
Yeah, and they're lost in the shuffle with everything else because again, they're not out there to help these people at all.
No,
they're not. Now, look, that's not saying there's no good psychiatrists out there, no good doctors. There's some, but they are few and far between these days.
Yeah, because they're being trained this way now to we need to affirm their gender identity because look at that fat paycheck you're going to get. They weed out people that are going to go against this.
Faithless says puberty would have fixed most of them. Yeah, it's one of the things that I read the other day. A doctor who was saying puberty can be the worst time for these kids as their body goes through the changes. Or, and let me throw this out there, these kids were scared of puberty for reasons I can't understand. Jack, were you scared of puberty?
No, but I could see where some kids like that aren't used to change, what we now classify as like mildly autistic, maybe they have some like fear of change or something.
If I was a chick and they're like, okay, soon your vagina is going to start bleeding, I might be a little nervous about that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why we're seeing such an uptick in women with gender dysphoria.
Exactly. And that's what this doctor was getting at, was that, this can be a major, if they're getting ready to go into puberty and they're fearing it, putting it off helps them. How? Letting them go through it and see it's not that bad. That's how you do it. I don't understand the fear of puberty. And Faithless just said they're being taught to fear it. They really are.
Yeah.
Here, let me help you out. Guys, your dick's going to get bigger. It's going to get hairy and you might get zits. There you go. And your voice is going to, it's not going to sound like mine, but it'll get deeper. Now, chicks, your vagina is going to get hairy. Your boobs are going to get bigger. And once a month, you're going to bleed. And you might get zits. It's not that bad. Calm down. People have been going through it since the beginning of humanity. Relax.
Well, they've got these kids all bent out of shape about the dumbest shit these days. They get them all worked up and scared over everything. The climate's going to change. Your crotch is going to change. The sky's going to fall. Orange Man's going to come steal all your stuff. Everything is fear.
Yeah.
Fear-based.
Faithless says voice crack and zits was the worst of it. My brother got extremely bad acne. And so I had that to look forward to. But when I went through puberty, my wiener got bigger. I got hairy. My voice got deeper, even though it was already deep. I I've probably had less than 50 zits in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah, I never had acne. My poor brother, man, he got tons of it. He
it
was
seems
the
pretty
pizza
genetic.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just draw the short straw.
My little brother never had a lot either. So, I mean, the older brother, that's what you get, dick. But, I mean, it's not that bad. And I don't understand why they're scaring kids with this shit. It's going to change your body so much. It doesn't really. You'll be fine.
Well, there is a concerted effort on the left to fear any kind of change. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but they are terrified of change. That's why we fight so hard to preserve the ecosystem, even though species come and go all the time. The climate change, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Hole in the ozone layer, we're all going to die. Everything is major dramatics.
And we've seen the studies that kids are like scared of everything.
Yeah,
We've seen it.
when it's all preached like doomsday stuff, of course they're gonna be terrified.
It's fucking doomsday cult, man. It's the left, man. Stay away from the left. They will freak you out. Come listen to us. We'll tell you it's going to be okay.
That's gonna be fine.
Gonna be fine.
It's death cult, dude. I'm telling you.
You'll be fine, kids. You do not need to go cut off your wiener or have one grown on your forearm. You'll be all right as you are. And stop listening to these fucking asshole adults who keep telling you that you need to change, because you're not getting it from yourself. You're hearing it from these assholes. Or, sorry, some of your peer groups who are fucking retarded.
Yeah. Stay off Tumblr too and Twitter. So you're like 20.
Yeah, even then, don't go onto there until you're like in your late 40s. And then you might get a job at the White House.
Or a spokesman for Bud Light.
Or a spokesman for Bud Light. That fucking piece of shit. GM recalls 40,000 trucks due to potential fire hazard. Advises owners to park outside and away from structures.
Have you heard about this?
I saw it, but I didn't realize it was so bad. They were telling people, "Hey, don't park next to any walls." All right,
right? Stay out of a garage.
We don't want the Chicago fire. Warren, Michigan, General Motors is recalling more than 40,000 vehicles due to a potential fire hazard. GM sent a letter to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration on April 21st, alerting the federal agency about possible brake fluid leaks that could lead to potential fire hazard. All right, I'm not a car guy, but is brake fluid really that flammable?
That's where it leaks.
Anyway, this is in Chevrolet Silverado models 4500 HD, 5500 HD, and 6500 HD, made from 2019 to 2023. The brake pressure sensor assembly may leak brake fluid into the brake pressure switch and cause an electrical short circuit, GM said. An electrical short circuit in the brake pressure switch can overheat the circuit and increase the risk of fire while driving or parked. Okay. Normal brake fluid isn't flammable at all, like .3 or .4. So what? I get the electrical short circuit causing something to spark. The fuck is it lighting on fire?
Well, I imagine like maybe other fluids are leaking, like oil or something like that. There's probably some other thing wrong that they don't want to tell you about because it's on more cars. They're like, let's just not talk about that.
I guess. So yeah. An electrical fire. But without anything there to burn, it's just going to go out. I don't know. It will burn, just not easily. Fair enough. GM advises owners of these specific Chevrolet Silverado models to park outside and away from structures until the repair has been completed. The repair requires the master cylinder pressure sensor to be replaced, as well as an inspection and potential replacement of the wire harness if needed. I'm guessing if needed means, we already see burn marks on here.
It doesn't smell burny enough.
Chevrolet dealers will complete this repair free of charge. Well, that's nice of them.
So you don't sue them.
Letters notifying owners of the safety risks are expected to be mailed May 29th. I would be pissed off if I got my letter on May 29th or May 30th or whatever, and they announced this recall and I happened to miss it. And in that meantime, my Silverado burned down my house.
Right?
Anyway, owners can contact Chevrolet customer service at 1-800-222-1010 using the recall number N222375-270. I'm not going to repeat that. It's on your screen if you are one of the people who has this Chevy Silverado from 2019 to 2023. Be careful out there, guys. Check your recalls.
Also, if you have one of those Silverados, I know about how much they cost. Feel free to donate to our Streamlabs link pinned at the top of the chat in the description and going through chat.
All right. Thank you. Great. Jim has more mobile torches. My ex-wife's 2012 Malibu burned up on the highway. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's scary shit, man. Your car suddenly bursts into flames while you're driving.
Okay. Give me a 1 in chat if you drive a Silverado from 2019 to 2023.
Monkey did that wrong. If you have one of those, let us know by donation.
No, we got to find out how many there are, and we butter them up.
Oh, okay. I'm bad at this shilling gig.
Yeah.
I don't really know how this works.
All right, guys, we are brought to you by you. Please hit the like button. Please share. Sharing, seriously, it helps more than you might imagine. With your friends, your family, that bitch you hate, all of them, get them here watching. And if you can, please consider donating to Jack or myself, if you can and are so inclined.
Indeed.
Donations are always appreciated, never expected. All right, I don't know what this is about. When asked why, should I read the stuff at the top or just play it?
I'll just play it.
All right.
Instead of responding to it with work, with urgency, with focus on actually addressing the issue, we say, oh, we'll just ban it. We'll just ban it, and that'll be the end of it. Instead of actually thinking about what is going to address this issue in a very real way. In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, Toyota.
Okay, I'm going to rewind this. I am going to read at the top because it feels like it's necessary for the context here.
Mm-hmm.
When asked why she voted against a motion to make it illegal to have a catalytic converter in your possession that doesn't belong to you, she replied by placing the blame on Toyota for making them easy to steal. I'm not making that up.
Instead of responding to it with work, with urgency, with focus on actually addressing the issue, we say, oh, we'll just ban it. We'll just ban it, and that'll be the end of it. Instead of actually thinking about what is going to address this issue in a very real way. In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car.
It's under the hood, right?
Catalytic converter. It depends on the vehicle. I'm not familiar with where it's at on a Prius. I thought it was under the vehicle.
Well, it's in the chassis. You would have to go out of your way to get it. It's not like it's sitting on the fucking top of the car.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it wasn't so easy to steal it, it's just a little theft.
Oh God.
Worth
And
like
then
a
the
million.
thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen. I think it's outrageous.
Okay.
Was it because of what the car was wearing?
All right. So the problem here, look, we don't need a law that people who have these things illegally that they've done something wrong. No. Those motherfuckers who made it They need to make it harder to steal.
Yeah, they need to make it less sexy. Because if it wasn't dressed like that, people wouldn't steal it.
Thank you, Frosted, who's kind of not mimicking, mirroring what you're saying there.
Mm-hmm.
Prius was asking for it. Look what it was wearing.
Yeah, it was just too sexy. Couldn't control myself. It was so sexy.
If somebody steals from you, it's your fault for not making it harder to be stolen from.
Yeah, clearly.
This is fucking retarded. Prius says, or sorry, Dangerous says, right under the Prius near the exhaust is a catalytic converter. But yeah, okay, under the car. It's not like it's sitting on the wing somewhere. It's not on the hood of the car. It's not on the trunk, sitting on the top. You have to do something to try to do it.
Yeah, monkey. People just sometimes lay down in the street after huffing petrol fumes, and they're like, oh, look at this thingy. I could just cut this off with this angle grinder that I brought with me.
This is so fucking stupid.
This is victim blaming.
It is. It goes even further than that, though. It's blaming the manufacturer for what happened.
Oh, they do that all the time, though.
Well, you're not wrong. But, I mean, it's not like... Fuck. All right. Prius, get your shit together, all right?
You're not the boss of Prius.
Nothing in your car should be easy to steal. You should have the club on everything. Whatever happened to the club? I feel like that was a really good anti-theft device.
Not really, because you could just cut through the steering wheel and pull it right off.
But you still, I mean, how many people are bringing a hacksaw with them?
Oh, I don't go anywhere without my hacksaw. I might see a sexy catalytic converter laying around and be like, that's mine now. Ha ha.
The problem is that they're not making it harder to steal. Oh, that's fucking retarded.
It's always somebody else's fault. These
It's not
criminal
the thieves.
apologists.
It's never the thieves, man.
No.
Thieves are good people.
They're just doing it for the bread, monkey.
Yep, that's right. They just want that bread. God damn, I hate this world.
I hate that we have politicians that are this fucking dumb.
Look, there's a lot that I love in the world, but there's a lot that makes me just want to bash my head against a wall. Until I see blood and don't understand what it is. Atlanta man shot and killed after he mistakenly entered the wrong car at a gas station. Jesus fucking Christ. People, calm down. He would have realized it wasn't his car when it didn't work. Hey, Nuts, how you doing, sweetheart?
Hey, Nuts.
An Atlanta man was shot and killed after he mistakenly entered the wrong car at a local gas station. The killer was recently bonded out of jail. I mean, Jack, can you blame the guy who shot?
No, I would have thought I was being carjacked.
WSB TV reports the incident took place on December 12th, 2022, when 26-year-old Trevon Dunnaville was fatally shot by Derek Cole Daniels. What the fuck happened to Tim and Tom and Jerry?
Whatever, those names aren't unique enough.
After accidentally getting in Daniel's car at a Shell gas station. You should have locked your fucking door. At a Shell gas station on Old National Highway in Atlanta. Earlier this week, Daniels, who was charged with misdemeanor voluntary manslaughter. I feel like maybe charging him at all is kind of wrong.
Yeah, look, this may have been an accident, but I don't fault the guy. Like you're pumping gas or whatever. You sit back in your car and some dude just gets in next to you. What?
Dunnaville's mother says her son had his head down and was texting, which resulted in him not realizing he was opening the door to Daniel's car rather than his own. Daniels shot Dunnaville 4 times. Trevon's mother told the news station he was at the wrong car. He saw my son coming towards him. He was parked like this, so you see him coming. I have no idea because I can't see your hands, honey.
Yeah.
He could have locked his doors, or he could have said, "May I help you?" or something. He did not. He did nothing but shoot. Just because people make mistakes and open up somebody's door, they don't have to shoot them. All right, look. There's a lot of things that coulda, shoulda, woulda in this case. One, I do think people need to calm down a little bit. Chances of you actually getting carjacked, pretty slim.
It's Atlanta. I mean, they have a massive crime rate.
I hear you, but seriously, how many cars are jacked each year?
I'll look it up.
Thank you, Frank Hubbard. Soros DA. No, see, here's the other thing. I can't really fault the shooter either. Now, when I get out of my car, I lock it every time. Somebody's not going to get into my vehicle unless they break the fucking window. And then it's like, yeah, you know you're at the wrong car at that point. Again, that doesn't mean it should have been going into his car. This is just a situation.
Yeah. This is awful no matter how you look at it. Look, get off your fucking phones when you're doing stuff. That's really the lesson here.
Q asked, why did the person recently bonded from jail have a gun? No, he got bonded from this incident. Yeah, I'm betting he doesn't have a gun right now. Because that's in evidence. Oh, man, I always open my car with my lock picking set. That's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it.
Well, what I figure is the guy's sitting in his car, and the driver's side door suddenly opens, and he sees a guy there holding something, probably black, because the cases on most phones are black.
Right.
So he just reacts.
Yeah, we need to be careful. When he says probably black, he meant the phone, not the guy.
Yeah, the phone case. Most phones and phone cases are black.
Fulton County District Attorney's Office released the below statement. Our office has an ongoing investigation regarding the matter. If a decision is made to seek a felony indictment, this office will prosecute it in the Superior Court. If the decision is made to leave it as a misdemeanor as the police cited it, it will be prosecuted in state court by the solicitor's office. That's not much of a statement, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just tragic, man.
Yeah,
that's just
it's
tragic.
Awful. But I mean, if I was in the car, I'd likely shoot the guy too. You can't stop and be like, "How may I assist you, sir?" "Oh, you are carjacking me now? Very well. Here is my wallet and keys." You don't want to run that chance.
Yeah, it's just that's just a bad situation, and I feel bad for everybody involved.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a birthday. It is James' birthday. He's turning 12.
James, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to James. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. I really do.
Absolutely.
Did you say turning 12?
Yeah, that's what the said in the chat.
Oh. James, go to bed. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just saying.
You also have a dono from Frank.
Frank, thank you so much. In Philly, they jack cars at gas stations regularly. I suppose so. Still, how many are there in the US each year? I don't know this enough to just shoot anybody who comes near your car.
Don't come near my car then. Pay attention to what you're doing, then you won't get shot. How's that?
Keldrick, thank you so much. Now, I'm just speculating, but the only account of events we're presented with in this article is the mom's. How do we know he didn't accidentally open the car door with a gun accidentally in his hands and accidentally pointed at the driver? It would be in the the driver's best interest to point out that it was a gun and not a phone. That's all.
Well, no, that's just her narrative that he was looking at the phone. We don't know for a fact that's what happened.
No, and I hear you, but I would imagine that Mr. Daniels, the shooter, would be like, no, that motherfucker had a gun.
Well, we haven't heard from him yet.
I mean, they were reporting on it. You would think with them and the bonding and everything that there would be some kind of mention of that.
You would think so, but I don't have that much faith in the press. Also, maybe he named his gun phone and it identifies as a phone. So don't be a bigot.
I mean, maybe. I'm willing to believe that it was a phone because just for the account that they would have probably said in that article that at least Mr. Daniels claims that it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll learn more as time goes on this. But I just wonder if there's going to be any riots because it's Atlanta and they really like burning shit down there.
I saw a video from this. I didn't watch it all, but I did see some video from this. I wanted my ears pierced. Quartet of Arkansas cops caught on video arresting man for piercing teenage son's ear.
Yeah.
Police in Arkansas arrested a man for piercing his son's ear last week. Now he faces felony charges. The incident was caught on video that went viral on TikTok. Don't watch TikTok, it'll make you retarded.
Fact.
In the clip, 4 members of the Taunted Town? All right. Police department can be seen pushing their way into a home and forcing Jeremy Sherland, 45, against the wall as the man's wife and son react with shock. The man stands in front of his doorway, holding his door with one hand in the door frame. With the other, as an officer shoves him, grabs his right bicep, and forces his way inside, the footage shows. The homeowner appears to ask why he should submit to officers, and one of them tells him, because I said. You got to add the so to that if you're going to say it, because I said so.
It's the South. They ain't got time for that.
Because I say so.
Or the linguistic ability.
Almost instantly, the officers have numbers, enter the home, and the man is pressed up against the foyer wall. Foyer. Sorry. I try not to be gay in French, so my French always suffers.
Right? Translated from French to English, it's foyer.
Foyer.
Yeah. But in Frenchy French, it's foyer. But fuck the French.
Foyer. As Sherland is being handcuffed, his wife demands to know what the charges are against her husband. An officer replies, and Sherland himself throws his head back with a combination of laughter and disdain. Ha 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 ha, he shouts 11 times total, faking the sound of laughter in a sarcastic fashion. Body art without a license. Really?
Yep.
The officers then shove the man outside and march him towards a distant law enforcement vehicle. Body art without a license, he shouts again. As the video continues, the man can be heard registering his disbelief. Piercing his son's ear without a license, the man's wife can be heard yelling off screen. Takes 4 cops coming into my house with no permission. Sherland's son interjects while filming, I wanted my ears pierced. The incident occurred on Thursday, April 20th. Sherland was released on $1,500 bond. His arraignment is scheduled for May 22nd. According to a press release issued by the Taunted Town Police Department, officers claim they were contacted by Springdale Police School Resources Officer about the boy's piercing. The school resource officer?
Yep.
Sherland's son says that's not true. Oh, sorry. While sitting in class talking with other students and a teacher present, the juvenile male stated that his dad was drunk and put him in a chokehold and shoved a piercing in his ear. Sherland's son says that's not true. Nah, I asked for it, and so we took ice and potato and did it that way. I got my ears pierced nearly a year ago, and I wanted it again and thought it would be cool. Officers explained the reason for their presence and asked Jeremy about the incident. The press release says Jeremy admitted to piercing his son's ear. Officers attempted to investigate the alleged crime further, but Jeremy refused to allow officers to speak with his son and refused to answer questions.
Which is his right not to answer questions.
After that, police say they went to the Washington. This has got to be thrown out of court.
I hope so, because this is fucking stupid.
Hearted. Fuck. Under the natural state statute cited by law enforcement, it is unlawful to perform body art on a minor without parental consent. Isn't this his dad?
Yep.
The statute also expressly does not allow, or so it does not apply to minors when piercing the earlobe. The statute does, however, make it unlawful to perform body art in any unlicensed facility. That's not body art.
No, for some reason they're trying to make it sound like it's a tattoo, but it's just an ear piercing.
Crime and Law reached out to the DA's office for comment on this story, and no response was immediately forthcoming. No shit.
Yeah, because you guys look like dumbasses.
Yeah, this is fucking retarded, man. Like I said, I saw part of the video and I wasn't really paying attention to it. It's out there, guys. Sorry I don't have it for you, but yeah, they just bust into this guy's house. I stopped when the wife kind of started pushing her way through.
Yeah.
Body art equals a tattoo. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. There's no statute for body modification, which is more like this would be.
Yeah.
But they're just trying to get him on that because they need something to charge him with.
Well, the thing specifically, hey, you can't do this without parental consent. He is the dad, and it does allow for an earlobe piercing.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think these cops know the law that well, and they were probably fishing to get him on some sort of abuse because from the sound of it, the resource officer said the guy was drunk when he forced it on his kid.
Yeah,
and that's the narrative they were going with.
Even with that, that's not what they charge him with, because that would be
they'll add charges on later.
But that would be child abuse, not getting a tattoo, which he didn't get.
Well, I understand that, but once they found out that the kid actually wanted his ears pierced and they had already arrested the guy, then they have to save face. So they're finding something to charge him with.
But that's what they arrested him for.
Yeah, but you start with that and then throw everything at the wall later. You start with a minor thing and then hit him with the big stuff, and you try and get a plea deal out of him.
Yeah, this is asinine.
That's fucking stupid. I mean, first of all, it's a terrible way to abuse a child. That's just lazy. I'm going to pierce your ears if you don't stop it. It doesn't make sense from any perspective.
Cops, I am the law. Indeed. Thank you, comrade. That was just to get probable cause. Well, that was their probable cause. It's all nonsense. And, I just do not understand it or understand why you would go through with this. We've seen this before, though. And Jack, I think you hit on something very important there. Cops don't know the law. If you watch The Auditors, you see it over and over and over again. Very simple laws that they should know. Usually First Amendment rights.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have poor training and we have too many laws.
Very simple First Amendment rights that they just don't understand. You want to see a cop get mad? Break out a camera. And it is amazing how many of these little assholes don't understand that if you're out there in public as a police officer, I can fucking film you.
Yeah. You could usually spot who's been a cop a while and who hasn't because they don't give a shit if you're filming them. They're not doing anything wrong. But the ones that all freak out, they're the ones you got to keep an eye on. They're exactly the reason you need a camera.
Yeah, those are the ones who should have their body cam on 24/7.
Yeah, because they're probably doing something jacked up. Because we looked at that article where San Francisco's dropping the requirement to even know English to be a cop.
This is look, we've seen police things go bad before, and that's just says something there in chat. This could have ended in this guy's death.
Yeah.
Over nonsense. Over a resource officer lying to police officers, if the kid is to be believed.
Which I don't have any reason to doubt him. Yeah, even if he was just talking to his friends and trying to puff up, oh yeah, my dad got wasted and we pierced my ear. They could have pulled the kid aside and be like, look, did your dad force this on you? Instead, they just went to the conclusion that obviously this kid's being abused. There was no investigation prior to the arrest.
Peter says, I've seen firsthand that Canadian cops do not like being filmed. Do you guys have that law up there? I mean, here in the United States, this is Supreme Court. You can film them in public. Do you guys have that? I don't know. Remember, guys, if I tell you, it's law, typically we're talking about in the U.S. because some of y'all live places that have some really fucked up laws. Like here in the United States, I can tell a cop to go fuck himself. There's places where you will be arrested for that.
Yeah, or beaten.
On the other side of that, you have auditors that act like they're going for a gun just to complain about the cops pulling theirs. Those guys aren't auditors. Those are douchebags who probably should go to jail.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the auditors handle everything completely ass backwards and make themselves look like douchebags. So
that's why I like watching Audit the Auditors, because he goes over each of them and he's like, okay, how did these guys do in this situation with the law? And 9 times out of 10, the auditors get the better grade. But one thing he's very big on is you need to stay calm. You can't just start screaming and yelling. That's a big one where he'll mark you down because he gives grades. I don't know if you watch them, Jack.
No, I can't stand most of his auditors. So,
he gives them grades based on how they act, and more often than not, yeah. I mean, the reason that those videos are up is because the cops are being assholes. So, there's some of the auditors who are just douchebags, just fucking douchebags. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna go play myself some Phasmophobia on a more normal level than I was playing earlier because that was humbling. Just gonna say that. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind, and we appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button or the thumbs up button on your way out. Jack, anything you'd like to show?
I had a new short come out today of Kitty Cat that I really like. So I'm going to drop the link to that in the chat, but that's all I got. Thank you guys for the donations. You're awesome and you're sexy. So thank you for all the support you guys do give us, coming out, watching, sharing, all that sort of thing. We do appreciate it.
My kitty cat is, I told you she comes up and lays on my shoulder. Well, she's taken to sliding down so that she sits entirely on my forearm, and that cat is heavy. I don't have the muscles I used to have, Jack.
No.
But
she's going to make you stronger.
I put up with it because she's so damn cute. And I love that she loves her daddy so much that she just wants to be cuddled and pet by me. So I need to start working out so I can hold the cat. Guys, thank you for watching. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, wait. Twitch.tv/Ranting Monkey. That's where we're going to be playing some Phasmo. Come hang out. I should probably show myself. Twitch.tv/Ranting Monkey. Come hang out. We'll have a good time. Me and Bubba, my favorite hobo, we're going to be hunting ghosts. And Bubba, I think we should play Insanity tonight. Turn it up a little bit. Kick it up a notch, as they say. The kids still say that, Jack?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to kids. Are stupid.
Does anybody care about Emerald anymore? Whatever happened to Emerald?
He's rolling around in a big pile of money.
Oh, yeah. That must be nice.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time, guys. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
This is the show at the end. Gotta start over. This is the song at the end of the show. By my English, you can tell it's time to go.